back. Welcome back to the Heroverse. And guys, I just got done with episode 4 of The Boys, season 3. Holy shit. I thought this was the best season yet, but holy shit, this might be my favorite episode of the season so far. Oh my god. So as we know from last week's previous episode, we knew that Butcher wanted Frenchie to set up a meeting with little Nina so that way they could get a ride or a flight out to Russia, so that way they could see where this weapon is that, of course, killed Soldier Boy. But they end up finding out on their way there, Huey ends up finding out that, before they even go to get on the plane, before the whole meetup with little Nina, he ends up finding out that Butcher's been taking that, 24-hour V. And at this point, he is kind of like, does Frenchie and Kimiko and, MM know that you're taking this, 24-hour V? And he's like, if you tell them, I'm going to put you in a coma. And pretty much right away, right away, Huey doesn't even want to tell them because, he knows Butcher is serious on that promise. Like, if you tell them, I'm going to put you in a coma, on the fact that the boys pretty much are all against Soup. So the fact of even, Butcher doing this and taking the 24-hour V, at this point, he's super desperate. And also, he's punishing himself because of the death of Becca and because, he feels like he can't have a life. And, he feels like he can't be, like he's not worthy to have a life and be kind of like Ryan's father. He feels like he's just not worthy. And he's just punishing himself. He's doing this to punish himself, and he's doing this because he wants power. You know what I mean? Like, he's tired of just, losing people. He's tired of, things not being on the same playing field, on the level of the playing field between, Soups and them. He wants to even the playing field, so that's why he took the 24-hour V as well. And technically, it's not even like you're taking regular compound V where you just turn into a Soup instantly forever. It's only 24 hours, so it feels like it's kind of like a loophole that he can hate, Soups and stuff, but he's only a Soup for 24 hours, so it doesn't even matter. So it's not like he's kind of like going against his code. But, the moment I really loved, and there was a lot of moments I really loved about this episode, but the moment I really loved was when, Huey goes to talk to Annie, and pretty much, he ends up finding out about, about the video of, Homelander making it so Starlight's his new girlfriend. And right away, Huey's like, when does this go live? And she's like, it goes live tonight. We filmed this, but it goes live tonight. And he's kind of like shocked at the fact of like, and you said yes to this, him doing this. And she's like, you told me we have to do whatever it takes to take down Homelander, and this is what it takes. There is no going back now. Like you said, this is what needs to be done. And of course, Huey's not happy about it, but he knows that this is what needs to be done. He was the one that pushed Annie to stay there, and then that eventually is what happened of Homelander making Annie his new love interest and stuff. You know what I mean? To the public, because she's so popular, Annie, right now in the polls. So it makes sense that he would want Annie to be his, since, they're co-captains of the 7, and he makes sense of it being like, oh, if we're both co-captains, you should also be my new girlfriend. So that way, it makes me look even more popular, or more people would like me, and also they would ship us. Because he wants it to be the way it was when, it was him and Maeve. But even Maeve didn't have that much, popularity even before, but Annie has that, so we kind of like, this is going to be a power couple. You know what I mean? Hashtag Homelight or whatever. So it's kind of like, the moment where, like, again, Homelander comes in and Annie's like, how did you get here? And he's like, oh, I have a key. You know what I mean? I've been keeping, he said something like, oh, you make, very loud noises when you sleep or whatever. And right away, I love the moment where Huey literally gets up and, because there's a moment where, like, after Homelander writes on his cast or whatever saying, oh, like, how is she in bed, Huey, or whatever? Like, I really want to know. Because, Maeve was able to, like, Maeve was crazy. She was able to bend stuff, you know what I mean? Not even using her hands, but with her legs and things. How is Starlight? And right away, I love the moment where Huey gets up and he's like, what did you just say? I loved the anger in his eyes. I'm loving what they're doing with Huey this season. He's not taking any more bullshit. He's done with this crap. And he's done with the fact he's like, if you touch Annie, it is over for you. And I love when he just gets all big and just goes up straight to Homelander and is like, yo, what? You touch her, see what happens. I love that. And even Huey does it, like, he didn't even think twice the fact that Huey didn't even think the fact that he doesn't even have powers. He just said, what did you just say pretty much about my girl? I loved that shit. It was baller. I loved it. I loved that he just didn't care that he didn't have any abilities. He just rolled up on Homelander, like, saying, you're not going to touch her. And I love the moment where, like, he says, whoa, Huey, you know what I mean? You're getting big on me right now. And again, I love when Annie's like, glowing her eyes saying, if you touch him, I will walk. I will tell people like everything, whatever, if you touch him. And that was just badass. And I love the moment, of course, he's like, she's like, he's like, I'm kidding, or whatever, you know, I'll let you guys be alone, or whatever. And it's kind of like, no, man, Huey's had enough. And in this episode, Huey pretty much asked Butcher, because when they get to Russia, pretty much, you know, I guess the whole point, Butcher paid off little Nina about the whole thing, you know, her troubles with, I forget Frenchie's old girlfriend. Her name was, I can't remember what it was. It was, Sherry. Yeah, Sherry. So, you know, he's like, oh, I'm going to give you all this money for your troubles, for all the things that happened with Sherry, you know, through all the troubles that you've been through. And also, you know, I'm going to, you know, give you some extra money, you know, it's for you to help us out. And she's like, oh, I've been going through so much trouble and so much, you know, anguish. You know, I think I'm going to need a little bit more. And right away, Frenchie's like, you know, I knew she was going to do this. I knew this wasn't going to be enough. I didn't even want to work with her in the first place. I don't even want to be here in the first place. We could do this without asking my old boss, you know what I mean, asking for her help. We can get to Russia without her. But she, of course, has connections over in Russia. So it's kind of like they need her help so they can get in to Russia, so they can get into this base, which this base that they end up being in is a Russian prison, essentially. And that's where they think this weapon is, because that, again, they took, you know, back in back, you know, when it was, or forget it, or whatever. So Russia ended up taking Soldier Boy to Russia. So it's kind of like, you know, they're like, that's where they need to go, because that's where this probably weapon is, because, you know, it was rumored that, you know, the Russians took out Soldier Boy and pretty much took his body. So, you know, wherever, you know, the body would be is wherever the weapon would be. So mind you, when they pull, you know, when they're trying to gather together at this like location in Russia, pretty much their new base of operations where they're set up so they can go into this, you know, maximum security prison so they can get this weapon, they have to, little Nina pretty much makes Butcher do a favor for her, you know, before, you know, she gives them the information on where this weapon is or where the weapon could be. So, you know, pretty much, you know, it was a deal where, like, little Nina wanted Kimiko to do this job, this assassination. And right away, the moment where, like, Butcher tells, you know, Frenchie and tells the team, okay, like, you know, we have to do this little job first before, you know, Nina gives us the green light and gives us the information on where we need to go. And Frenchie's like, I'm not doing this. I told you I don't do this anymore. And he's like, I love the moment where it's like, when are you guys going to understand that you guys work for me? And you are, and, you know, I love the moment where, like, Kimiko, when Butcher is telling Kimiko, okay, you need to assassinate this dude, you know, that's what you need to do. I'm sending you in. And I love when Kimiko was like, I'm not your gun. And of course he's like, yes, you are. You are a gun, and you're my gun. And when are you guys going to learn that you guys work for me? And it's like, again, Kimiko said the best, where, like, Butcher and little Nina are all the same. They all think that, you know, they're not, you know, they all think that they're just, you know, people that they can control, and they're not human beings. Like, they just think that they're hired guns, and they're supposed to do anything that they tell them. It's like, and they just don't care who gets hurt and whatever happens to the team. When I feel like it's at this case, that's what's wrong with Butcher. And that's the thing that, you know, Kimiko was comparing to Little Nina and Butcher, is the fact that, you know, they don't, like, that Butcher and Little Nina don't really care at the fact of just, you know, they think that they could just tell their, you know, their teams what to do and without having a care in the world on what can happen. And that's really much what's going on with Butcher right now, is Butcher just does not care about anything right now at all. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is like the side effects of the 24-hour V, because Ryan did say like Butcher smelled like he was like something was happening to him. And I don't know if this 24-hour V, since it's not really like tested, I don't know if there's side effects of anger, because it feels like Butcher's a lot angrier. And I feel like also it's like, does this 24-hour V, since it's not really tested, could this kill Butcher? Is that what Ryan was smelling in Butcher's blood? Is that it maybe killing him, taking this 24-hour V? Because also we end up having where it's like, we do see Huey asking for Butcher when he catches Butcher trying to, you know, juice up again on that 24-hour V. He asked Butcher, I can't stand feeling like, you know, I always need saved, or I can't stand feeling like I'm a useless schmuck. Like, I need you to let me take this stuff so that way I don't have to be saved by Annie. I could save her for once, like I promised her. And he's done feeling hopeless. He's done feeling like he needs to be saved. He wants to kill Homelander, I think, if not more than Butcher, because he has a lot more to lose Huey with making Annie stay there and Annie being put in a position where like she could possibly die, because Homelander will kill her if he ends up finding out that, she's, that they're on to, that she's in on trying to find a weapon to kill him. So it's kind of like, Huey's just had it. He's done with this shit. He wants to kill Homelander, and that's why he wants that, that 24-hour V, so he feels like he's on the same playing field to stick up to Homelander and actually feel like he's not going to get, killed, you know what I mean, if he even, like, looks at Homelander, sideways. So it's like, I really love where Huey is coming from, that he just wants to take this, and I love the moment where, like, Butcher's like, you don't want this. This is punishment for me. You don't deserve this punishment. And I love when Huey's like, and you do? And Billy, and Butcher didn't even say anything. He just looked back at Huey and just walked away. But I knew at the moment, like, I was like, I wonder if Huey is just going to, go into that container, not listen to Butcher, and just take that stuff anyways. Because, I mean, as we all know, there was 3 vials from what, Maeve gave to Butcher with the 24-hour V. So I was like, there's a chance, did Huey take it? I'm not quite sure. But we ended up getting into the facility, into this Russian compound facility, this Russian prison, and, they're looking around, they end up coming into this, like, experiment layer of this Russian prison, and they end up finding out this little, I think it was a gerbil, I couldn't tell what it was a gerbil, or if I think it was a guinea pig, I think it was a guinea pig, I think that's what MM said, and I love when Kimiko and Frenchie were like, how do you know that? And he's like, oh, my daughter wanted one, she had one for a while, or she wanted one. And the moment where, like, the little, guinea pig was jumping around the casing and broke the glass and set off the alarms, and that's when, Butcher and all them are like, okay, get ready, they're going to be coming in here. And they ended up, then the Russians start coming in, start shooting up the place, pretty much, trying to stop them. And there's just a big shootout in this little, like, experiment facility down the lower level. And, there's this container, which we don't know what's in it, but I was like, right away I knew what was in it. I was like, Soldier Boy is in there. But they end up don't opening it, until after the shootout is done, because they end up getting pinned at this point. MM is out of ammo. We end up seeing Frenchie and Kimiko. They're being shot at right now. You know what I mean? They're trying to duck and cover. And, Huey's just at this point, just hiding. And, that's when, Huey looks at Butcher like, it's time to do this. And then that's when Butcher smiles, ends up saying, yo, C-words, ends up walking out, getting shot. And at this moment, MM, Frenchie, Kimiko are all looking at Butcher like, holy shit, or whatever. Like, he's not going on the ground, he's not getting hurt, he's indestructible, what the hell's happening? And so the moment where he does his laser vision, and they're like, oh my god, at this moment they're at pure, holy shit, he must have took V. And at this moment where, like, they're all standing up and Butcher missed somebody, and there's a Russian soldier right behind MM about to shoot them, we see Huey say, MM, look out. He freaking teleports over the MM and then puts his fist through the Russian soldier. Huey, I kid you not, I was like, oh my god, Huey took the 24-hour V, he's a soup, oh my god. I love the moment where, like, again, they couldn't process what Huey and Butcher just did, and I love the moment where Huey's literally naked. So I guess when he teleports, his clothes come off, because he just turns into matter, and then just went across the room, and he's just butt-ass naked, pulling his fist out of a Russian, and he's just so... like, he's so in awe of, holy shit, I'm a soup, or whatever. He's just like, that was badass, because mind you, like, it must be nice for Huey to feel like he felt hopeless before, and then have all this power where he's, like, indestructible now, he has strength now, he's able to teleport now. So it's like, I'm assuming he's indestructible only for the fact that he was able to, like, he has strength, so I'm assuming he's also indestructible, but also can teleport, which makes me think that's going to be badass, because we know that they're leading up to a fight at the end of the season where it's going to be Maeve, where it's going to be, Annie, where it's going to be, where it's going to be A-Train, when it's going to be Butcher, and it's going to be Huey, and it's going to be Kimiko, all beating the shit out of Homelander, and I cannot wait for that moment. Of course, we do, what is it, Supersonic was in on it too, and Supersonic brought A-Train in on what was going on and what they had planned to take down Homelander, because Homelander's been losing his mind. I mean, of course, we've known this from season 1, but at this point, he's officially, like, lost his mind, not caring about what the public, how the public looks at him. He doesn't care at all anymore of how the public, looks at him anymore. He just doesn't give a shit anymore. and how the public, perceives him. So it's kind of like, or even how anybody looks at him anymore. He just does not give a shit anymore. He knows that some of the public likes the real him. So he's just going on fully insane at this point. So, leading up to the moment where, a whole bunch, like a big moment happens in this episode, besides the fact of, Soldier Boy coming out of his, his cryo chamber and pretty much blasting Kimiko across the room, and Kimiko's not healing, and we pretty much think Kimiko's dead, but I don't think she's dead because there's a lot of scenes in the trailer that we saw of Kimiko and Frenchie. I think we're going to see more of them later down the line, but that was the taking point where previously, earlier in the episode, Butcher explained to, MM, do you want to know the reason why I brought you onto the team, a part of the boys? And he's like, it's because I punched a dude and put him in the ICU. And he's like, no, that's not it. I did it because, you're a leader and I need you to lead the boys regardless of whatever's going on with me. I need you to be here to lead the boys if something happens to me. And, what I mean? Because, I just don't care about what happens to me anymore. And, it just, the moment where, like, they're all in the car and, and MM and Frenchie are trying to pretty much save Kimiko because she's losing a lot of blood after that explosion that, Soldier Boy released from his chest, which I do think, like, maybe the Russians maybe used the weapon and tried to make a weapon of their own, because at the time, Soldier Boy was their most powerful member that, the U.S. had. So now that they took Soldier Boy with the weapon that they might have made, I'm thinking they connected, they merged the weapon with Soldier Boy trying to make a weapon to make the all-time powerful soup that could destroy, soups with the weapon that they were able to take down Soldier Boy with. So I think they were trying to make their ultimate weapon, where it's like the strongest soup, also mixed with something that was in Soldier Boy that could also, with the weapon that the Russians made, put in Soldier Boy, so that way Soldier Boy wouldn't have any troubles killing other soups with the weapon that the Russians made to get Soldier Boy to make their official weapon. So I'm thinking that's why Kimiko wasn't healing from the blast of the Russians merging their weapon, their soup killing weapon with Soldier Boy, trying to make their own weapon of their own. So it's kind of, I think that's why Kimiko wasn't healing. But it's like the moment where, they're trying to, save Kimiko, and, Huey's in the front looking at his arm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Pretty much, in awe of, like, I'm not ashamed of what I did. I'm happy with what I did. And I think I think it's going to change Huey, him having that little taste of power. And, pretty much, Butcher at the point of, like, he ruins Huey, you know what I mean? Bringing him into all this bullshit in season 1 and making him lose it to the point where he feels like he needs to take this. I think he's going to get addicted, and I think he's going to maybe not be the same Huey that we know and love, from season 1 on to this season. I think that little bit of power from that 24-hour V is what's going to change him. So that should be very interesting if that's what happens or not. But, he says, MM says to Butcher, you don't care about this team, you know what I mean? Like, we lost our team, there's nothing for me to put back together. There's nothing for me to save anymore because our team is no longer what it is anymore. And that was a really sad moment because, Butcher did that, you know what I mean? He sent, them all on the path of, like, he doesn't, I think of them as, human beings. He just thinks of them as Kimiko as his weapon, and Frenchie and all them as his as a team that's expendable, you know what I mean? He just doesn't care, even though he does care, but, like, he's so shadowed by anger right now and feeling like he just doesn't deserve anything, and he just wants to be a complete asshole. So he's like, he's just shutting off the side of him caring, and he just wants to get things done and wants them to do his bidding. So it's kind of like, that's very sad, and I'm wondering what's going to happen going forward, because as we all know, before they went in to do this one last mission that Frenchie told Kimiko, okay, we're going to do this one last mission for MM and, Huey, because we at least care about them. We're going to go off and we're just going to do our own thing. We're not going to be with Butcher anymore. But it's like, if Kimiko dies, Frenchie's going to feel like he regretted sending in Kimiko and, bringing Kimiko along with this one last mission, because that's what got her killed. But I don't think she's dead again because of the stuff we saw in the trailer. But also, Supersonic dying because A-Train sold out Supersonic about Annie and Maeve and all them, trying to take down Homelander. I don't know if if Annie told, Supersonic about Maeve as well and what her plan was, because Maeve set this all up with Butcher to even about this weapon existing to kill Homelander, sent, Butcher and the boys on this mission. And then that's when Annie found out through, Huey. So it's kind of like, Maeve is the real one that started this mission to try for the hunt for this weapon to kill Homelander. So I don't think Annie told Supersonic, because when Homelander confronted, Starlight about, oh, you see Supersonic, A-Train sold out Supersonic, you know what I mean? Because A-Train was Homelander's favorite. That's why he sold out Supersonic. Like, used to be Homelander's favorite. Used to be, Homelander's, second in command when it came to the Seven, and until he did some things that made it so, like, or I guess until he had his like heart attack and stuff. So it's kind of like he can't run anymore as fast as he used to, and he's afraid to run in general because the doctor said you might be good to go, but there's a chance if you run, there's a chance that you could die or whatever, and he's just afraid to do it. But he's but the Deep's wife has been giving the Deep the right things to say, to get the Deep in Homelander's good gracious. So it's kind of like the Deep is now Homelander's second in command, and pretty much agreed with the Deep on that. The fact of A-Train, his legs don't even work anymore. He's not as good as he used to be, and he's useless. And the Deep is more useful when it comes to the fact of the Deep agreeing with Homelander. The fact of that they can't take out. His name was Blue Hawk, which Blue Hawk has been going around in black neighborhoods and pretty much racially profiling black people and pretty much killing them. And A-Train wants to do something about this, and he brought it up to Homelander, but Homelander just doesn't even care about anything that's coming out of A-Train's mouth, because he thinks A-Train's useless because he can't run anymore. He doesn't even know why A-Train's a part of the Seven anymore. And then again, that's when the Deep listened to his wife on the text that his wife sent to him, saying like, like pretty much going against trying to confront Blue Hawk about all the shit he's been doing about racially profiling people and killing people. So it's like to pretty much look to pretty much be in good graces of the fact of trying to please Homelander, on the fact that it's like I guess Blue Hawk and Homelander are in the same demographic. So that's why he's like trying to like pretty much impress Homelander by saying, oh, we can't do anything to Blue Hawk regardless of him killing black people or not. You know what I mean? Like that's your demographic, and if we need more soups on the street, not less soups. And he's like, yeah, I agree with you, Deep. All because again of the Deep's wife that's saying all this crap. Which again, I don't really know what her agenda is. Besides, I guess she is kind of like the Deep's new agent or whatever. Like the new publishing agent. It seems like she's trying to make the Deep look good, I guess because it makes her look good, or I don't really know what her end goal is, the Deep's wife, but she is clearly psychotic, and the fact that she's on the same psychotic level of the fact that she doesn't even care what's going on with Blue Hawk killing black people. She really doesn't care, clearly, because she wanted the Deep to say stuff like she's like, I think she wants to be in the Seven so bad, but she doesn't have abilities, so she's pretty much manipulating the Deep film, and making the Deep give her words coming out of her mouth, but putting them in the Deep's mouth, so she feels like she's a part of the Seven. I feel like that's what she's doing, and the fact that she doesn't care about what Blue Hawk is doing, but she is doing this, on the fact of she wants the Deep to be second in command, so maybe it feels like she's closer to maybe Homelander. Maybe she really likes Homelander and she's doing this. I don't know, but it's like the Deep, A-Train got really pissed, saying like, who the hell are you? Like, no one asked for your say of of what's going on. No one asked for your opinion. So the fact that you're trying to ignore a main problem that's going on with Blue Hawk doing all this, it's like you don't even care. And again, who said you could even give a say? You know what I mean? You don't even, no one even wants you on this team. And he's like, I'm allowed to say whatever I'm allowed to say because I am a part of this team again. And pretty much he just thinks that the Deep is he's getting comfortable again being an asshole, and pretty much like, yeah, I'm here and I am the second in command, and Homelander does like me now, and you're useless now. You're going to be the one that's getting picked on now, you know what I mean? Like how I used to be. Pretty much because everybody used to, make fun of Deep because of his gills. And now, like, now, like, the fact of now Homelander not bullying Deep anymore, and you know what I mean, and pretty much gets to be the one that's bullying people now with Homelander, and not being the one that's at the butt of the joke anymore, because Deep used to be that, and now A-Train is. It's like, now it's like the Deep's payback against all the bullying he's gotten from A-Train about his gills and stuff. And again, Homelander did it, but he's afraid of Homelander, so that's why he's kind of like, oh, no, I'm this, now I get to be the second in command, and now we get to make fun of you. I'm not the one that's, got to be made fun of all the time by you and Homelander. Now I'm second in command. I'm in your position now, and we get to make fun of you now. So it's like, I feel like he's doing this as like payback, and he's kind of like, how does it feel to like not be second in command? How does it feel like to not be liked by Homelander? And how does it feel like to be the butt of the joke now and stuff like that? But I love the moment he told, the moment where like they were fighting back and forth about of A-Train saying, you like, no one even wants you here. You don't have the right to say anything at that table or whatever. And of course, again, the Deep is getting comfortable, coming back with all the bullshit. And I love when A-Train's like, listen here, you Ashton Kutcher fucked the clownfish looking ass. Like, he said some shit like that. And then that's when, he said, like, he like punched, he's like, oh, your legs don't even work. But I love pretty much the response to that from A-Train is him punching him in the gills. And he said, what, you punched me in the gills? That was a cheap shot. And then that's when he like jumped into A-Train and smashed him up against the wall, and they both fell on the ground. And then that's when he helped up, Deep, Homelander, but then they didn't help up A-Train. And he said, yeah, go somewhere else, A-Train, your legs are useless, they don't even work. And then that's when pretty much, he's doing, ass kissing to Homelander because he wants to be in good graces, Deep, and we're seeing that. And, at this point, A-Train has enough, saying, saying to Supersonic, because Supersonic's like trying to get him away, so he doesn't get hurt or whatever, from Homelander, of him just being angry. He's like, I never had to, take this bullshit from the Deep. And he said, come on, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? Because as of right now, A-Train's really trying to make change and is really trying to change, and we're seeing that in his character development. But him calling out all the bullshit that Blue Hawk has been doing. And Ashley clearly doesn't care, like, at all. She didn't try at all to bring in, Blue Hawk so they could talk about the racial shit that he's been doing by killing people. And, she just clearly doesn't care. Just A-Train's pissed. And the moment where, like, he's talking, Supersonic is talking to A-Train saying, what if I could tell you that we could do something about this? And he's like, what did you have in mind? Meaning that he brought, A-Train in on the stuff about, Annie and him wanting to take down Homelander and all that crap. And then that's when he sold out, Supersonic to Homelander so that way he could be back in Homelander's good graces, which pisses me off that A-Train would do that because it's not going to last forever, or he will turn on you again. It's like, the dude needs to be stopped, and you guys are supposed to come together, not all go against each other. And he did, and that got Supersonic dead. And that was a really sad moment. Like, Homelander said, there will be no plotting against me. There will be no, trying to, hide behind on one another and trying to take me down. You are going to be my good girlfriend, and you're going to worship me, or that happened to Supersonic is what's going to happen to Huey. And I need you to say that right now to know that you understand me. And it's kind of like, great. It's like, but as of right now, Annie doesn't know that Huey has abilities now, or at least temporary abilities that last 24 hours. He needs to get more 24-hour V for him to keep doing that, for him to even stand up against, Homelander. Him and Butcher are going to need a lot more V, which I think Maeve will provide them, because again, as of right now, Homelander doesn't know that Maeve is the one that sent the boys to go look for that weapon to kill him. Homelander doesn't know that Annie was and Supersonic were in on Maeve's plan. Homelander thought it was Annie's plan about taking him down. He doesn't know about the weapon still. So it's kind of like, because I don't even think, Annie told Supersonic about the weapon or about any of that. All Annie told Supersonic is like, we have to take Homelander down. Can you help me? Not how to take Homelander down. So that information that Supersonic gave to, A-Train was, he didn't know enough information, Supersonic, to tell A-Train about the weapon that could kill Homelander. Because if Supersonic did know, A-Train would tell Homelander to get him back in good graces, and then that's when, Annie would be killed on the fact that Annie might know where a weapon is to defeat him. So I'm just excited at the fact that when Annie finds out that Huey has abilities, that's going to be fun. That's going to be interesting, and I cannot wait. And I think Huey's going to tell Annie, see, I can help you now. I don't need to be protected anymore. I can protect you if you need protected as well, or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Or you don't need to protect me anymore. That means you can be fully focused on fighting him, and I can help you fight him as well if it comes down to it. Because as of right now, Huey has an element of surprise now. The fact that Homelander doesn't know that Huey has abilities now. Homelander doesn't know that Butcher has abilities now. So it's kind of like Homelander's going to get his ass kicked. I feel like also now that, again, my theory was now that Soldier Boy is back, Soldier Boy's going to be furious at the fact that the Vought has a new Golden Boy, that America has a new Golden Boy, which is Homelander now, and that Soldier Boy is old news. But I think when Soldier Boy comes back, that's when, I think everybody's going to be like, wanting him to be the leader of the Seven. And people are going to start looking to Soldier Boy now and be like, he's a legend or whatever, he's way cooler than, Homelander. I think Homelander's going to get jealous and try to kill Soldier Boy, but then Soldier Boy, I think, is definitely strong enough to kill Homelander because it's known that Soldier Boy's stronger than Homelander, and I think Soldier Boy could be the one to kill Homelander. So that's just going to be an interesting fight when that ends up happening, because I could totally see that happening where it's like a free-for-all, where it's like, Huey, Annie, Butcher, and also A-Train, and also I'm missing somebody else, and Maeve, and against Homelander, but also we have Soldier Boy wanting to fight Homelander without also not worrying about Butcher's team, but just wanting to fight Homelander, maybe helping out the boys to defeat Homelander only for the benefit of Soldier Boy. But I feel like Soldier Boy, I can't imagine MM would be okay with Soldier Boy wanting to help out the boys to defeat Homelander. I can't see that when MM wants to kill Soldier Boy for the fact that Soldier Boy killed his family. So it's like because at the moment where Soldier Boy walked out of his cryo chamber, which was very Winter Soldier, MM was frozen. He was afraid to move. He couldn't process the fact he had flashbacks. He was going through PTSD of the fact of his knowing that dude killed his parents, and he thought he was dead, but the fact that him seeing him, the man that killed his his family right in front of him, it's kind of he just couldn't move the fact that, oh my god, he's still alive. Oh my god, you know what I mean? I don't know what to do. And I've been looking for this dude forever, and he's actually still alive. He just did not know what to do. He was frozen. And I felt really bad for MM in that moment. I'm wondering if he's going to take V so he could be the one to kill, Soldier Boy. Also, I almost forgot about 3 other things that were pretty big moments of this episode. But when Little Nina told Butcher, oh, you have to do this favor for me before I give you information, that assassination mission that, Butcher ended up sending Kimiko on, was she had to go undercover to as either a stripper, I think it was or a prostitute. I'm not quite. I think it was a prostitute. And she had to go in there, and there was a whole bunch of other girls in there. And this one Russian dude, pretty much had a full shelf of 7 inspired dildos. And that moment where she had to assassinate this dude, and she ends up going around the place, she assassinated the dude by shoving the Black Noir's dildo into the dude's head, and then she used all the other dildos and pretty much threw them at people's necks, threw them at other people's heads and stuff, stabbed one dude in the heart with it, all of his guards, and the girls were scared of Kimiko, and they ended up shooting Kimiko in the head, but then she ended up healing. And, she tried to explain, without saying anything, because we know that, Kimiko really doesn't talk, that, she wasn't there to hurt them, but she was afraid. And then that's when, of course, she told Frenchie after her mission that, I'm, Little Nina and Butcher are the same. They don't see us as human beings. We need to get out of here. I'm done, working for Butcher. He just thinks of me as a gun, a gun that he could just point anywhere and I'll do things for him. And, that was just really sad that Kimiko all throughout this season, she's been talking about how she feels like she'll never be a normal girl. She'll never want to do normal, girl things, or just she'll never have a normal life. And that was just very sad to hear Kimiko say that, because, she's on this journey of finding out, can she ever have a normal life? You know what I mean? She's on this journey of finding out, am I this monster that is this weapon? Can I be anything more than that? And it's just, that moment where Butcher pretty much says, you are a gun and you're going to do whatever I tell you to do. It's like he's like telling her that she is a weapon and she'll be nothing more than that. I'm just really sad to see that, essentially, because that was literally the scene that told Kimiko that she is a gun and she'll be nothing more than that, even though she wants to be more than that. But I think at this point she feels like she can't be, of Butcher saying that you are my gun and you're going to do whatever I tell you to do. When will you guys understand that? And it was just really sad to see that. But I think that going forward in the season, she'll realize through Frenchie that she can have a normal life. She can do other things without feeling like she is a weapon. So I'm excited to see that with her character going forward. On top of the moment where, like, what is it? Victoria Newman ends up talking to Stan Edgar. As we all know, Victoria Newman got adopted by Stan Edgar, but this was a crazy moment on the fact of because Stan Edgar asked Victoria to do a news segment about Homelander, about how Homelander can't just do anything that he wants, and pretty much wanted Victoria to go after Homelander, but told Victoria, I will protect your daughter and I will protect you. You know that I've been protecting you guys, and have I ever broke that promise? And she's like, no, you haven't. But of course, she knew that if she did this news segment on Homelander would come after her. So she ended up betraying Stan Edgar, knowing that he wanted her to do a segment on Homelander behind her. Stan Edgar's back. She went to Homelander saying like, oh, Stan wanted me to do this segment on you. I won't do this segment on you. I'll rat him out if you get me Compound V for my daughter, so that way she can be protected and nothing can happen to her, because I guess she doesn't have any abilities, Victoria Newman's daughter. So it's like, and I guess Stan Edgar wouldn't have done that even if Victoria asked. I guess he wouldn't have done that for her. So she went behind Stan Edgar's back, her own adoptive father's back, due to save her daughter by her getting Compound V from Homelander and working with Homelander, which already I feel like that's big problems. The fact that now she's working with Homelander and now she's not working with Stan Edgar anymore. I feel like there's more of a chance that he will now treat, saying, because he said that to Victoria when he was giving her the Compound V, saying that you were just a hired gun for Stan Edgar. He was never really your father. He just wanted you as a weapon, and he was controlling you, and that's what they all do. And it's like, I feel like that's what Homelander is going to be doing, is going to be controlling Victoria now, saying, I gave you V for your daughter, now you're going to do whatever I tell you to do. So it's kind of like, I feel like she's going to regret turning on her father, Stan Edgar, because Stan Edgar was actually keeping her protected, and Stan Edgar was the only thing that really was keeping Homelander in place and keeping him in check. But now that he's no longer there, the fact of Victoria betraying him now for a Compound V, to get Compound V from Homelander to give to her daughter, also to benefit Homelander, also to benefit, also getting Compound V for her daughter, but also giving Homelander, telling Homelander, you give me Compound V from my daughter, I'm gonna, I'll betray, Stan Edgar, and I will give out the information of that he is he is doing bad things in Vought, and he's the one that's, the corrupt person in Vought. So it's like, if this benefits him, because now Ashley's now in charge of is like the head where Stan Edgar was of the Seven now, of Vought now. Like she is now the one that's like that. She is now in Stan Edgar's position and stuff of what goes on in Vought. But also, like, now that Ashley is not the one that's going to be making all the decisions, Homelander is. But she is going to be the one doing all the stuff, while Homelander's the one that's doing everything, but also telling Ashley what to do. So this benefits him that he can control Ashley, but he put Ashley in that position because he's the one that moved Ashley up before, I think in season 2, up into being more higher up in what goes on at Vought Tower. So it's like he moved her up again to take Stan Edgar's position, even though he has a leave of absence, because the one moment where Homelander was coming in to tell Stan Edgar, saying like, oh, like, I understand that you told the public that you're going to take a leave of absence, but then that's what all people say when they end up finding out that they're actually not coming back. And, he's like, I'm not mad at, Victoria because, I taught her to be like that. I'm proud of her or whatever. So it's like, she had a little bit more in me. She had a little bit more of me in her than I realized. And, he was saying, to Homelander, I don't find you, I don't have any respect for you. I don't find you, scary. And do you know what I mean? Pretty soon, pretty soon you're going to regret this decision of that you have no one to hide behind anymore and no one to protect you now. Because, you know what I mean? Pretty soon, the world is going to see you for who you actually are. Not a god, but an old product. And I was like, damn, bro. He just called you an old product. And you could tell that really was making Homelander pissed. And I thought he was going to, throw Stan out the damn window, but he didn't. I'm just excited to see what's going to happen in the next episodes going forward. Again, I don't know how many episodes we have this season in general, but I just do not want this season to end at all. I want it to keep going. I'm loving this season. I do think it's the best season we've had yet of The Boys. And it already got renewed today that we're getting a season 4, and I knew that was happening. I knew that they weren't going to be dumb enough to not greenlit this and renew it for another season for season 4, because they've topped all the other 1 and 2 seasons by a long shot with season 3. They literally topped both of the seasons combined, and this might be the best season yet. But I think going into season 4, I feel like they'll top even this season, and next season will probably be the next season yet. Because it just, every season gets better and better, and that's known when it comes to watching The Boys. But yeah, guys, again, I'm going to know down in the comments below what you guys thought about episode 4 of The Boys. Let me know your thoughts and your theories. Let me know how you guys thought about this episode. I do think this is the best episode we had so far of the season. And also, yet again, guys, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, post notifications, like this video. I'd love to have you guys here, a part of the fam, a part of the channel, all about spreading love, positivity, and motivation. And yet again, guys, we're almost to 600 subscribers. Right now, we're at I think we're at 528, almost to 600. I would really appreciate it, guys. Yet again, if we get to 600 before the end of June, that is my goal. And my initial goal is to get to 1,000 before the end of this year. And I know we can do that, again, with your love and your support. So yet again, subscribe to the channel, post notifications, like this video. Also, we have some crazy other shows coming out in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of months, whether it be movies or shows. So guess what? There's going to be a lot more content dropping here on the channel. So if you don't want to miss any of that stuff, again, subscribe to the channel, post notifications, and like this video. But guys, yet again, that was the video. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll see you guys next Friday for episode 5 of The Boys. Peace.